So the other side of the coin for student achievement gains in charter schools are widely recognized as the majority of the criticisms that the average person does have in comparison to students being in traditional public schools. Many of the results that were given on the pros are short-term results. The first charter school was established in 1992 in Minnesota, and there just is not enough data to support legitimate long-term learning gains. Even if it's 4 to 5 years, our education systems have been going on for centuries and have been refined decade after decade after decade, and we're still in a very small amount of time in terms of charter schools having an effect on our educational system. Also, in reading the study, there were a lot of mixed bags in terms of data collection, both in support of charter schools and against them. There were many opportunities to show that there were gains in test scores. There were many opportunities to show gains in grades, but most of those gains were very small or minimal. And there was also a lot of data collection to show that there were issues, mainly from state to state. We'll talk about that in just a second. Underperforming schools. There was 30 schools at one point in the study that were examined, and 12 of the charter schools were drastically underperforming. This is a very common common judgment of people who are against charter schools, that too many of them are drastically underperforming. And there is data to show that whether it be standardized testing or other types of educational gains that they're lacking in, many of the charter schools do underperform, even if they are helping a very small segmented population of students. And the student sample size also being quite low. There is just still a small percentage of students who actually utilize charter schools, and there are not enough students to actually measure significant educational gains. Even though there are students who are improving, there are minority students or minority areas of our country who are able to use charter schools effectively, that's still almost a drop in the bucket, so to speak, in terms of the amount of students who are in traditional public schools in our country, and then in comparison to, say, students who are utilizing charter schools. Overall, state by state has really shown some of the more interesting areas. There are certain states that have thrived with the application of charter schools and the students that they survive, and that there have been many states who have not been able to find a good balance between using charter schools for student achievement.